Please let us know in the chat if you'd like to ask a question. We'll start with Ted Coffin.
Hey, Derek, how'd you like the pace? How'd you like what you saw from that scrimmage?
I liked it. I thought structurally some things we worked on, whether it was the new neutral zone or our D zone, there was some conscious effort to execute. So I think they did a good job with that. Obviously a ton of turnovers, which is kind of expected, but turnovers led to most of, if not all of the offense. So I think it's a good picture to paint for the guys starting tomorrow, cleaning up some of that puck play. But for the most part, the 3 days we worked on some structure, some of it translated, and we're in a good spot heading forward with our structure.
All right, so you kind of, I was going to say, do you like where you're at right now after a few days like this up here?
Yeah, I mean, it's still very, very early in the camp, still very, very early in the process, but I was excited for some of the stuff we've worked on in the first 3 days. Some of it translated in a positive way in that red-white game today.
All right, last one. I mean, you've talked about fresh starts for a lot of guys. I would imagine Kubalik is probably in that same type of vein. I mean, for this good opportunity for him coming in from Chicago.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Signed with a purpose. I think the management group still sees some upside in him. And he was good today, obviously. Probably why you asked the question, Ted. He did have a good scrimmage. He was skating. Puck seemed to find him a lot. He had a good day and looked like he built some confidence in him.
What does he bring to the table? I mean, what can he provide?
A shooter, obviously someone that can skate. I think he probably reflects the rest of our group. Like to see a little better play away from the puck, a little harder in a lot of areas. So he probably reflects most of the group with what more we want out of him.
Appreciate it. Thanks for this, Derek.
Max Bowman.
Hey, Derek, I'm curious how, I'm sure you spent a ton of time kind of planning this and scripting this. Like, how similar has reality been to expectation through 4 days here?
Good. I was happy with it. You never know how it's going to look. Everything we put in on paper over the last 2-3 months translated very well. And to me, it's a credit to the guys. They were dialed in our meetings. They were dialed within our practices, and they went out and executed. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how things have gone so far.
It seemed like Zadina was on the puck a lot today. What have you noticed about him? What's he doing well?
Assertive with his game. I think it started probably with day 2 in camp. Day 1 was fine. I think day 2, you can see him just being assertive with the puck and some confidence. And then I think it translated in today's game. He was flying. Puck was on a stick. Skill in tight. He was getting shots off. Obviously created a ton of offense today. So he looks like he's playing with some confidence. So hopefully we can keep building that going forward.
And then how about Edvinsson and maybe a little more physicality today? Is that kind of what you were looking to see?
Maybe. Yeah. I think it was Simon, and I don't think he might have had 6 to 7 turnovers in that first half. I think, that's something he's going to have to manage. It's something we're going to work with him. I don't know if it's so much going to be a negative early on. I think we understand it's a process with him, but unfortunately for him, a lot of turnovers that ended up back at him and caused him to defend on shifts where obviously we'd like him to be playing north or so. It's all part of it. That didn't surprise me today with him. A lot of positives. Again, you see that special skill set, but you don't have to be a trained hockey eye to see. I'm sure he led the entire group today in turnovers, something we're going to work on with him.
Thank you.
Jonathan Mills.
Hey, Derek, over the first couple of days of camp here and then in today's scrimmage, have you seen a lot of the more experienced NHL guys kind of take some of the younger ones under their wings a little bit?
100%. Setting the tone. If you guys recall the shift earlier, Ben Sherratt hits Rasmussen into the bench. He turns around and he crushes Zadina. And I think that's just a tone setter. We're going to get to work today. This is how we're going to play. And hopefully it's going to translate into our team game. And then 30 seconds later, or a few seconds later, after him getting that defensive stop with 2 heavy plays in our zone, Razors in on a line rush, probably hooked in any situation. We probably go on the power play, but all created with Ben being hard out of his zone, which is we want more of throughout our entire team.
Appreciate it.
Helene St. James.
Derek, with Simon, in addition to the turnovers, it seemed like a lot of times he looked for Gustav Lindstrom to, make the safe pass or get the puck out of the zone. What do you like about that pairing, or why have you had that pairing as part of it? Because you want Sherrod and Mata with?
No, I don't even know they were together today. So there you go. Like I've put 0 stock in some pairs. Obviously, throughout each day we've had pairs, but yeah, I couldn't even tell you. I was looking more the team structure. I was looking more individual play. Not a whole lot of rhyme and reason with our D core. Definitely, we did not have those 2 together on a purpose of playing them throughout camp or going forward. You'll see all the D with many different pairs throughout.
But with Sherrod, though, I mean, do you like the maybe potential there with Moritz Seider?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I think you'll see 4, 6. Yeah, I think you'll see again 8 exhibition games. You'll see both of those guys playing with many different partners.
I just sort of today's the first time I really stood at ice level, and I mean, he's just like, a giant. What can he bring? Like, how eager are you to see him in exhibition and maybe on a power play, what he can do?
We'll play him a lot. He'll probably be one of those players that will play the most in the preseason, maybe in that 5 to 6 game range, if all goes well. We like what we see. It's hard not to be excited about the tools. It's big, he's strong, assertive with the puck. He's played a lot of hockey. Poor guy hasn't had a day off here in probably 7, 8 days, and we've asked a lot of him. So I think I mentioned this maybe after day 2. As much as I've wanted to have a fresh start for everyone throughout this organization and to be open-minded, I also want to be cautious with getting excited about a young player like that from what I've seen over 4 or 5 days. It's hard not to get excited, but I also want to be cautious and let this play out for him and all of our guys throughout the exhibition games in camp.
Lastly, just any updates on the injured guys or?
Yeah, no, still in that day-to-day. I think you'll see most of those guys throughout the preseason here, just a matter of when. We'll probably err on the side of caution here, maybe a little later than not with them playing. But I think all those injured guys, maybe outside of Cop, that you'll probably see sometime in the exhibition season.
Thank you.
Bob Duff.
And Derek, I know you've talked a lot about wanting to see players play hard and have a good compete level. Was it, even though it's a scrimmage and you don't want to see teammates hurting each other, was it good to see an edge to the game today and a lot of guys kind of playing hard?
100%. We encouraged it. We talked about it. We ended both meetings asking for it. And I think you saw that. You can't turn it on and off. And we want to be able to turn it on and make it just a habit of who we are. And I think you saw it on both ends. I already talked about the Sherrod. I think no one was very concerned about who was in the other jersey. That makes for hockey being played the right way.
And with Hogg, is there any update on him getting the puck in the head? Is he just precautionary?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Obviously came off. I didn't get a chance to see him after. Obviously it looked a little scary there. I think he took it in that back of the ear and head area, which is a little scary. So he was getting evaluated before I came over here. So no update yet.
And Veleno, has he fall into that day-to-day category?
He was maintenance day. We probably could have played Veleno today, just as a little caution. There was some lower body issues there, just more of a maintenance day.
Okay, thank you.
George Malik.
Hi, Coach. I was wondering what you thought about Giovanni Smith's performance individually. He's really in a battle for one of those 4th line spots, theoretically speaking, anyway. And I mean, he had a statement game of sorts. It's just one game and he has
Yeah.
to be more consistent, but what did you think about his performance?
We need him to be simple, assertive, play north. I think he did that. I think he created with his line for that. They have spent some good zone time, which should be a strength of his, spending some time with the puck in the O zone. And he finished on a breakaway. So, good for him. He got the opportunity in a scrimmage type situation where he got high sticked and he finished. So, yeah, it was good. You look for everyone, like you said yourself, some consistency. So good start for him today for sure.
Somebody we haven't talked about yet, Sebastian Cossa is looking to turn pro. I know he gave up 2 goals in the second half, but he also seemed to be pretty steady. He had a steady performance in the prospect tournament. I know you were here for at least some of that. Can you discuss what your first impressions of him are?
I think an overall positive camp. He looked sharp in the rookie tournament and he looked sharp here. And it was by design. The management team wanted to give him a half. And I thought he played well. The big save east-west early on. And then, both goals, you obviously can't fault him. He looked sharp today. And again, any minutes he can get going forward at this level, what he'll see in the exhibition, what he'll see at the pro level is going to be important for him going forward. So there's an opportunity to give him 25 minutes today, and I thought he performed well.
In terms of the systems, I'm kind of curious as to whether some of the turnovers might be an issue where, there's some holdover from last year and from the players, just the learning process. Do you understand that's part of that some of it is getting it to stick and getting it to become sort of unconscious and just natural takes time.
Yeah, I think it might be some of that. Obviously, we finished 31st in the National Hockey League last year on chances giving up off turnovers. So obviously that's an area of the game we will like and want to clean up. But I think if you went around all 32 NHL camps in their first exhibition game or their first inter-squad scrimmage, there would probably be look very similar. I think it's just you're nailing structure. You want the guys to play within structure but not be paralyzed. Usually that the pace of the game causes that. The last thing that usually comes around is that puck play, puck management. And for us today, it was obviously, you guys saw, it was an issue for both teams.
Finally, I asked Dominic about this, and I know you've been here before during the prospect tournament. Can you talk about the volunteers and how they treat the players and the coaching staff?
Remarkable. Above and beyond, like you said, I was obviously able to experience this with both being the head coach in Toledo and being the head coach in Iowa when we bring our team to the prospect tournament. First class, but not only detailed on top of everything, just their genuine demeanor. Good people, want to say hello, will do anything for you. Really, really impressive. Last message I had for the group, both groups, when I talked to make sure you thank everyone. This would be the day you're gonna have a large fan base outside today. You don't have to sign 200 autographs and take an hour and a half a day, but to make your way over there. That's all part of it. And it's just this community, it's first class. It's pretty impressive.
Thank you, sir.
Last question, Art Regner.
Hi, Derek. I'm kind of curious what you thought of Berggren's play. He seemed to make some nice plays, especially when Mo pinched in front of the net. Kid that really came on last year in the second half in Grand Rapids.
I've liked him throughout, and he was foreign to me coming in. I did not see Grand Rapids at all last year. Didn't really watch Grand Rapids tape going forward. So it was a fresh start. He had a really good camp, and that was the management group last night. Wanted to see him with some different type players, and those players were obviously Larkin and Raymond. Players that we foresee being in our top 6 throughout the year. So he earned that opportunity today, and I thought he performed very well with it.
All right, that's all for us today. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Thanks, guys.